How y'all doing? For this review, I'm going to go through The Seeker by Simon Hawke, Book 2 of the Tribe of One trilogy, set in the Dungeons & Dragons campaign world of Dark Sun. Continuing where we left off, Sorak arrives at the city-state tier and finishes his business there. The main villain is taken care of. He finds the Veiled Alliance, and the Veiled Alliance gives him, a scroll that will help him on his quest to find the Sage. Just so the Sage can help Sorak regain his memory, find out about his past, and help him gain his memory about what happened before he was found by the Pyrene and he was raised by the Villichi village. His Tygon companion, who was with him since he was a cub, has unfortunately, got killed in the last book, but he meets up with the person who was following him and protecting him in certain parts of the last book, and it turns out to be Ryana, the woman of the Villichi village who has grown quite fond of Sorak and wanted to raise up to, the next level. Unfortunately, due to Sorak's condition being a tribe of one, which means he has multiple personality disorders, not all the personalities can, agree with him consummating his relationship with her, simply because they're female and they don't swing that way. Kind of go with it if it sounds too silly. But either way, so they join up, and now they're going to continue on a quest to find the Sage. After they leave the city, they make camp, and they are instructed to throw the scroll into a fire. And apparently there's magical enchantments about it, and the scroll has basically instructed them to go to Nibenay, another city-state in the east. But they cannot go through the routes of the trade caravans and roads. They have to go straight there, which requires going through the desert, which is expected, but also past the mountains just to the east of Nibenay. Okay, so the first chapters, is not, them traveling through the desert, which gives the reader plenty of opportunity of what the world of Athens is like and all its dangers, monsters, and such. It also allows Ryana and Sorak to reacquaint with each other and talk about where they're at friendship-wise and everything, which interesting scene where some of the personalities kind of come in and chat with her herself. Irion, the cynical one, has his views and so forth. Some of the questions like, okay, so if Sorak finds the Sage and he does bring it back as past, can he also be powerful enough to make him sort of normal per se? And such questions are involved in. So, and as after that, they finally reach to an oasis, the Silver Springs, as I recall, and Silver Springs, there's a trade caravan who's camped there as well. Now, they have to be careful coming in because trade caravans, they see anybody not part of the group come in, they could be just bandits in disguise trying to scope out, and so they have to tread carefully. Well, fortunately for Sorak, the leader of the trade caravan recognizes him from a casino because Sorak helped him out against a card sharp. So he invites him over to his tent to have dinner and introduces two characters. One will be an extra companion, the other will be the main villain. The companion will be a princess from Nibenay. Now here's the thing, Sorak and Ryana, or being of the path of the Preserver and the Druid, at first didn't want to break bread with her at the table because her being a princess Nibenay is a sorcerer king, they're against all the Fire Lord mages. But the princess, whose name is Kirana, she confides to him that the reason why she's there, she's been banished from Nibenay by her mother, who is a Templar, and all Templars are Nibenay's wives, but Kirana has been secretly learning Preserver magic. Now, Defiler or Preserver, mages outside the Sorcerer Kings are not allowed. They are usually hunted down because they are considered a threat, especially Preservers, because they're in league with the Veiled Alliance, which Kirana has been conversing with them there. Now, the villain, his name's Torian, he's a high noble of the city-state of Gulg, which is just south of Nibenay, bit of a rival city-state between, and he is trying to use Kirana to force her to marry him and gain a foot up in society. It's all about his uses and nothing much. Doesn't take her any other way. Well, after dinner, Ryana and Sorak are in their tent, and they're gonna have to move immediately. Sorak, correctly guesses that Kirana is going to want to join with them and hopefully help go back to Nibenay. She doesn't want to be an outcast anymore. She figures she'd go back to Nibenay and just stay with the Veiled Alliance. Now, Ryana is not exactly happy with this because she's a princess. She's been raised and spoiled all life. She knows nothing about the outside world and knows nothing about surviving. She'll slow them down. She'll complain. She'll make it all high and mighty. All the possible bad things that could happen. But Sorak says, well, if she comes by here, she's joining us, and we'll probably be chased by it, so I have to hurry. And everything he predicted does happen. So she does come with him, and Ryana is actually surprised with Karana. Even though she's not fit to travel the desert without any help, she doesn't complain. She doesn't get high and mighty, and she actually shows that she's sincere in wanting to know the ways of the Preserver. So she kind of they grow as friends there. But the thing is, as they're traveling across the desert and about to the mountains there, Torian is ticked off, and he's doing his best. He grabs his handful of soldiers and follows them, tracking them down every step of the way. So it's a chase at this point. Now, traveling through the desert is going to be problem enough, and eventually they're going to have to get to the mountain ranges that is between them and the City-state of Nibenay. Very treacherous, no water, a lot of monsters, much more harsher than it is before. Now, Sorak doesn't have much of a problem. Being both elf and halfling descended, he's got high constitution and he's trained well in the desert. Ryana, trained as a Villichi and is a druid, and so she's also trained in the desert as well. Not as durable as Sorak. And of course, Karana is going to be hard on her. But they still trudge through. They're trying to keep ahead while Torian is relentlessly even killing many of his men who are going against him, because they think this is kind of ridiculous that he's chasing after a girl, but Torian is dead set to try and make her his wife. So the race is on. Now, let's see. And along the way to Nibenay, the reason why you're traveling through this and not through the routes, because the scroll kind of is leading him somewhere that will give him to a secret location that will have them an item and a little bit of clue what they'll have to do next. And they eventually find this place. It's in an underground chamber, well hidden. And in there they meet a spirit, which will give them these sets of keys that they need to take to the sage when they find him. So that's pretty much the book, is where they have to race against Torian, who's trying to get Karana back. And will he succeed? How does Sorak fight him off? And even then, and they still have to go to the City-state of Nibenay, where they need to contact the Veiled Alliance, and there's going to be some problems there. But let's see, anything else? Well, yeah, that's pretty much it, without giving him the whole ending about everything. A lot of interesting scenes there. There's also, I didn't mention about the last book, and it shows up again in the second book, that Sorak's sword, Galdra, which is a powerful enchanted blade that can break any blades provided the bearer is true. It's also recognized among the elves, and there's apparently this prophecy that that the bearer of Galdra will eventually show up, and he may become the new king of the elves and bring the elves out from the unsavory lifestyle, the bad reputation that they have. Sorak doesn't want anything about this, so. So there you go. That is The Seeker by Simon Hawke, book 2 of the Tribe of One series. And I'll get to the third book here pretty soon. So thank you all for watching, and have a nice day.